Hi everyone, I'm Phoebe, and today I'll be talking about my finished objects and my works in progress. This was a lot of firsts. This is the first time I ever tried cables, first time I ever tried Fair Isle, first time I ever did texture knit. I'm still kind of a beginner. I'm just like jumping into knitting, and I've learned a lot, so I want to share with you all that I've learned. This is a Friday Slipover by PetiteKnit, and this is made in Dusty Artichoke in one strand of Merino and one strand of soft silk Mohair. So both in the same colorway. I'll show you kind of a close-up. This is the color that made me fall in love with knitting for Olive, and I think this is the first garment that I've made with their yarn. The resulting fabric is super soft. Love it. I understand why it's so popular among knitters. And making a slipover was great. I'm going to make more slipovers. I never wear slipovers, but they're so fun and quick to make that I'll just make more and more of them. This is in a broken rib stitch. So as you can see, this pattern. So broken rib is actually pretty easy. You just knit one row and then you knit one, purl one. So it's just like this. Broken rib is knit one row, row two, then you just knit one, purl one until the end, and then you alternate. But I have to be honest, I find it somewhat annoying. So let me know in the comments if you find broken rib annoying or if you find other stitches annoying, because it's easy to follow one by one rib because you just follow the row before it. But because it's constantly broken, you kind of like have to really focus. And sometimes I found myself getting off, and it was really annoying to undo. But it is a very easy stitch to do. But in any case, I love the result. Yeah, let me know what stitches you guys love, what stitches you guys find annoying. So the next thing that I finished is my Storm Slipover Junior for my daughter. And this is knit in Pure Gynt Red 4228, colorway 4228. This is also patterned by PetiteKnit, and it's a texture knit. This is the first time that I followed a chart to make a pattern. And so you can see this is really fun. After doing this, I realized I love texture knits because the result is so cool, but it's literally just knits and purls, knits and purls. It's super fun. And I really liked working with Pure Gynt. It's 100% Norwegian wool, and it's quite affordable. I think that's probably why I really liked it, but it's soft, springy. It's kind of crunchy, and I like that. And I think it shows the textures really well. It's definitely not as luxurious. It doesn't feel as luxurious as the Knitting for Olive combination, obviously because it's merino and soft silk mohair. This is definitely kind of more like utilitarian, but I really like that. Yeah, and I want to make a sweater for myself out of this a texture knit out of Pure Gynt. Okay, what else did I complete? This was also my first time doing Fair Isle. So I made a cowl. So when I was in Atlanta, Georgia, when I was driving around, I found a knit shop. It was in, where was it? But I was in a knit shop and I saw this kit and I was like, oh, that's a great way to start Fair Isle. This is called the Hygge Holidays Cowl, and it's by Campfire Knits. And so I bought a kit, and it's knit with Shibui Knits Haven. This yarn is super nice. It's 80% wool and 20% cashmere, I believe. And these two colors are Caper and Ivory. So the pattern actually called for one row of snowflakes and another row of trees, like Christmas trees. But I just like the snowflakes. So I just did 2 rows of snowflakes. And this was super fun. So first time doing Fair Isle, you can see the back. I'll show you this. And so I tried different ways of doing Fair Isle. I tried holding one strand continental, leaving one strand, and I think that's kind of what I preferred in the end. I tried holding both strands continental, and I think that probably would be the most efficient way of doing it, but I just found it more comfortable the other way. I tried doing Fair Isle the English way, but I just stuck with holding one strand continental and leaving one strand. But my verdict on Fair Isle is that it's super fun. It's just like color by number. That's what I realized. It's literally coloring by number and with yarn. So it looks intimidating, and I love the look of Fair Isle. So I am definitely going to make more Fair Isle items in the future. Let me put this on so you guys can see it. So a cowl is great. Sometimes I'll have a scarf around me, but then it'll just like slip off and maybe I'll lose it. But this won't ever slip off. So it's great, it's convenient, and I love the snowflakes. Okay, so those are the finished objects. Now for works in project. Sorry. So now for works in progress. So I have some big ones on my needles. This one is the Monday Sweater by PetiteKnit. And some of you have seen my videos reviewing 7 PetiteKnit's super simple sweater patterns and kind of teasing out the differences between them. And ultimately I decided I would make a Monday sweater. And some of you might have also seen my video doing color analysis using AI and figuring out that I was a deep autumn. And so I just decided, okay, I'm going to lean into that, and I'm going to do a deep autumn Monday sweater. And so this is the body. I still have to do the sleeves. So, but so I made this. So yeah, I'll show it close up. You guys can see, this is a super autumn sweater. My husband calls it the Vilma sweater because there's a character in Scooby-Doo who always wears a sweater like that's the same color as this. Yeah, this is made in Knitting for Olive, Rust. This is the Merino, and Blood Orange in the soft silk mohair. Like every time I ask the AI what are the deep autumn colors, Rust is the one that came up the most often. That's why I chose it. But I wanted something a little bright. I wanted a little brightness added into it, so that's why I paired it with the burnt orange. And so you can see this is like a super autumny color. Not something I would actually choose on my own. Like if I saw it in a shop, I'm not sure I would choose this color, but I love the fabric. It's great. This is super easy. It's really fun. Yeah, now just onto the sleeves and then I'll be done. Okay, what's next? Okay, the next thing I've been working on is the Siri Cardigan by LeKnit. So LeKnit is Lene Home Samso. And when I saw this pattern, I was like, I really want to make that. That's totally something I would wear like all the time. But I've never done cables before. So I thought, well, it's a good opportunity to try something new. And it's supposed to be for adventurous beginners. And so I'm like, okay, I'm a beginner. I'm also kind of adventurous, so I'll go for it. This is what I have so far. I'll show you guys. Okay, so I like it. There are 2 different cables. So there's kind of V and then there's like alternating cable. There's also a cable for the sleeve, and then the back, it's in moss. So this is in moss stitch. The rest of it is in moss stitch. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I found amazing about this pattern, what I found slightly challenging. Okay, first of all, cables. So any of you guys have any tips on how to keep it tight in the middle? I looked up things on AI. I've like looked online, but no matter what techniques I try, I can't get them to be like, so you guys can see they're kind of loose, like right in the middle. And I don't know how to like just tighten it. I just feel like they're kind of long. I don't know, you guys can see. And like, anyway, so anybody have tips on that? I'd really appreciate it. One thing on moss stitch is I don't find it annoying at all, which is funny because moss stitch is kind of like broken rib stitch in that you're alternating. So, okay, moss stitch is like seed stitch. Where is my paper? So moss stitch is kind of like seed stitch. Seed stitch would be knit 1, purl 1, and then seed stitch, the second row you do purl 1, knit 1. But moss stitches, you do the first 2 rows, knit 1, purl 1. And then the next 2 rows after that, rows 3 and 4, you would do purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. And then you just repeat rows 1 through 4 throughout. The cool thing, what I like about this pattern by LeKnit, I think it's so clever, is that all the increases, all the cables, and then all the changes on the moss stitch all happen on the right side. Because it's a cardigan, you start knitting from the right side, and then when you flip it to the back side, to the wrong side, then you don't have to do any increases. You don't have to do, obviously, no cables. And the moss stitch, you just copy the row before it. So when you're on the right side, you always know you kind of have to alternate the moss stitch. So that makes it really easy to follow. I hope that makes sense. This is the first time I had to use a chart on an adult size. So I used the chart for the Storm Slipover Junior. And so for this pattern, it's kind of all smooth sailing for the first 14 rows because she really holds your hand and guides you through every single stitch you have to make. And then after that, she's like, okay, refer to the pattern, refer to the chart. And I looked at the chart and I was like, what is this? I don't know where I am. And I think I just had to realize, because she puts the back section separate, that you just have to insert it into the other charts. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, so I don't really want to show the pattern, but you can see, so starts with left front sleeve, right front, and then there's a part for the back. There's a part for the back, and you just have to insert the back part into the rest. I know this is a totally newbie, a rookie mistake, or rookie just not knowing what to do. But the notes on Ravelry really helped. I'm really glad other people asked dumb questions, because I definitely needed it. If I didn't have other people, sorry, not to call them dumb questions, but they're just questions that might seem really obvious to seasoned knitters, or people who have grandmas or moms guiding them through patterns. But I have nobody but YouTube and Ravelry, so I really appreciate people asking kind of what seem like obvious questions. What else? Right. Oh yeah. And then also she said, okay, from row 15 onwards. And then I was like, well, what does that mean? How do I had to figure out how the chart fit in with the written instructions. That was a little difficult. And then LeKnit wrote on the comments, there's a black line between rows 14 and 15. And that was super helpful. That was oh, okay, now I get it. And then it was continue in the chart. And then once I figured out how it worked, I kind of figured out the logic of all the stitches I was making. It totally began to make sense. It all clicked. It became super fun. I was it's also super satisfying, getting into the rhythm of it. The only problem was that I went on holiday and I brought this cardigan with me, fully intending to work on it throughout the holiday. But then I never did. And then I just never worked on it for months and months. And so I let it stay there. Oh, okay, come in. All right, so where was I? Yeah, so I brought it on holiday, never worked on it. And then when I came back, I was it was just too much to wrap my head around. So then I just never picked it up for months and months. So probably almost 6 months, I just let it sit there. And then I totally regretted it, because I had to figure it all out again. And I spent a whole evening counting and counting, figure out where am I in this pattern. Yeah, and I also threw away the piece of paper where I had written my notes. I just thought that I could just print out another copy of the pattern without realizing that I had made specific markings of where I was. Such a rookie error. So yeah, I just realized maybe if I get into the rhythm of a pattern like this, I just need to do it until the end, or I'll just make more patterns like that. Okay, so that's my Siri cardigan. Sorry, that was a lot. I just hope it was helpful, because I don't find too many people kind of getting into the nitty gritty, and I think it would have been really helpful for me when I started the pattern if some people just kind of got into the nitty gritty. Yeah, I kind of wish that designers wrote patterns that approach everybody as a complete beginner. I think that would make the patterns more accessible, especially as knitting is expanding and more people are just finding and learning things through YouTube. I think it's hard maybe for really seasoned knitters to kind of get in the mindset of being a novice. So yeah, maybe a combination, because you don't want to be handheld, or I'm sure seasoned knitters don't want baby steps and everything. So maybe 2 versions. I don't know. That might be a lot of excessive work for pattern designers, but and with AI, like, things can be done so quickly nowadays. Anyway, okay, last work in progress. I have other things, but I think this video is long enough. So the last work in progress is, okay, so the last work in progress I have is a crochet bag. And you guys can see, this is the first side. So these are little like daisy squares. This is like my own pattern. I mean, it's not even a pattern. It's literally just improvised. So like I found a tutorial online for a little daisy crochet squares, and the back is granny stripes. I just wanted something fun and colorful. And so, okay, so the origin story of this is there's a shop called Søstrene Grene, and it just opened in my neighborhood like a while ago. And when I brought my friend there, we walked in, my friend was like, "Oh, Phoebe, this is totally you." And it totally is. It's just really cute. It's like IKEA or Flying Tiger, like the Scandinavian shops, like where you walk in and you can't like you have to see everything before you get to the tills or the cash registers. But the best part is that they have a whole section of yarn and craft things and watercolors and paints and all kinds of like fun crafty things. And so I walked in, and I think this is around summertime, and they had cotton yarn. And so they're really affordable, like they're pretty cheap. It's a great place to begin if you're a beginner. And I just saw these colors. There's also like a yellow greenish that's in here, but I can't find that ball. So on a whim, I just was like, okay, I'm gonna crochet something. I don't even know what I'm gonna make, but I'm just gonna make it with these colors. And so I just bought a bunch of these colors. Actually, I think actually I was there and I had a tote bag that my parents gave me from Iceland, and it had Icelandic wildflowers, and they're kind of in like this rainbow. This order was literally like yellow, orange, pink, purple, blue, and green. In that order, and I was like, oh, I can make a crochet bag like with that kind of color combo. And so that's what I did. So I just have to add handles to it. I've also been working on this for like months and months. I just keep putting things aside, and then anyway, it's a busy life. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little run through of my finished objects, works in progress. Let me know if anything was helpful, or if you guys can give me any tips, especially for the cables. I really need help on the cables. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, bye.